Think I just found a monster.
What an incredible day on the gold.
On my last adventure out, I managed to snipe an incredible 42 grams of chunky gold, all from deep within a river of Tasmania. Getting to the location was tough, with no marked track and having to bash my way through jungle-like vegetation. The gold was found in the winter, and temperatures made time in the water brutally painful and cold.
So cold, but I can't stop.
But with gold like this, I had to go back in. If there was that much gold hiding in just one crevice of the riverbed, what else could be hiding away? This time, my eldest son was keen to return with me and to put himself through the torture of a few days in the wild. This is the first time I've taken him on a trip of this magnitude, but I'm sure glad I took him along, because this trip ends up being the trip of a lifetime.
We've just made it to where we're going to camp. We're pretty sopping wet. It was a bit of a mission hiking through the bush to this spot. But, just going to set up tent, get it up while there's no rain, and Will's having himself a bit of lunch. Warming you up a bit?
Yep.
Poor fella.
Tastes pretty good.
Tough out here, isn't it?
Tasty with the 2 sleeping bags and that extra polar fleece. That's why I was travelling so heavy. Wanted an extra blanket down here to keep you.
Yep, and you just go around real gently, press all the edges. It'll scream if you bump it, it'll set off a bit. Oh, a little bit of sunlight coming through. Wow, harness that.
Because it takes most of the day to get into this location, we spent the last few hours of daylight detecting a small feeder creek that runs into the main river.
He was a bit naughty, he had the day off school today, so he's out with Dad doing a bit of bush survival and prospecting for a bit of gold with the detector. Sopping wet, but loving it.
I have to admit, with the gold found on the last trip in, I was dying to get back in the water sniping.
Looks like old timers workings. There's a big heap up here, look. Has to be. Huge big mullock heap. Yeah, look, they've dug it all out of there. They must have found gold here. Yeah, if you just go all over that heap, it might have something in it. Well, we've come a fair way up this creek now, and the topography is starting to go quite steep and elevate. There's huge big log jams and logs crossing over it, but we noticed up the top there's a really cool waterfall. A little bit hard to see on this. Yeah, there's a nice big waterfall dropping down from above. Still going, we're on a second creek now. This one's a little bit bigger, we're just starting out.
Unfortunately, with the detector, we didn't have any luck, but it was some time well spent despite being sopping wet.
Pretty good. That is good.
We've got the 2-man tent tonight. Willie's a bit bashful about getting changed.
Mate.
Hurry up, just get it over with.
Yeah, close your eyes.
Oh, I have I've got my eyes shut.
No, you don't.
Alright, come on. Hurry up, son, and get changed. What? You're gonna wake up or what?
Yes, I will.
Yes, I will.
Not watching.
No need to snap. It was a wet night. I think you can see that. Is that a puddle? Oh, it is. You gonna get up or what?
Yeah, I will. I will.
What, today?
Yes, tomorrow.
We've got sniping to do if we can get to the river. Final preparations for the day, about to set off. And we've got about half a kilometre over a little hill here that we've got to hike in. We'll be down on the main river, and then we're going to do a bit of sniping and detecting down there, all going well. There was a fair bit of rain last night, so we're not sure what the river's like. If it's in flood, it'll be game over. We'll probably head home early, but if the river's still clear and quite low, we'll be able to get to work. What a legend. Old time prospector.
The water was relatively clear and I was excited to get back to work.
The river's been in flood since I was last here, and the trench that I was working has now been covered up again, so I'm going to have to get the shovel out to try and dig back to where I was before. Life of me, I cannot find that crevice that I was working last time I was here. It just all looks so different, but I have come across a nice little crevice here, and it's just starting to show the first few pieces of gold.
After a few pieces out of a small crevice, I did eventually find the crevice that I found all of that gold on the last trip, and as soon as I got back to work on it, there was more gold to be found. After working my way through the crevice and finding relatively small pieces of gold, I had no idea of what I was about to find. It was also very deep, and there was a fair bit of breath holding involved. I began finding chunkier pieces, but it's very short-lived, as you can only work so much ground at a time before you have to start digging further into the gravel. Will had found himself a target just under the waterline, so I went over and helped him dig it out.
Solid gold, or?
After trying to dislodge what we thought might have been gold from the bedrock, it turned out the bedrock itself was setting off the detector. This started to get my mind thinking that perhaps the gold in this location was actually shedding away from the host rock below. It was something that I'd thought about from the last trip, and it made me think that perhaps it was time to start crushing some of this ore and testing it to find out if this was the case. It would mean bringing back some other tools, a dolly pot, a pan, and some other tools to break up the bedrock. But for now, it was back to work on this unfinished crevice. There wasn't a ridiculous amount of gold that I was finding, but it was enough to keep you interested. It was a bit of a juggle, trying to keep my body in one position with the flow of the water. The other issue I was having is that because the crevice was so deep, it was creating a bit of an eddy underneath, and all the sediment was making a cloudy mess for visibility. But then this one time, while waiting for that water to clear, something incredible happened.
think I just found a monster. Alright, sharp your detector down and deep in that crevice down there. Yeah, don't get washed away, it's pretty strong. Well, I think it's gold anyway, it's pretty big. Oh, it's probably a bit deep, it might go under. I'll pull it out and show you.
At this stage, I wasn't 100% sure what I'd found, but my eye was 100% sure that it caught a glimpse of something.
Hope you're ready for this. Put your hand out. I mean, it's not McGinty, but
Damn. Oh.
what the? It needs a good clean.
Yeah, well.
Far out. That's been sitting in there for a long time. What? That's huge. I wasn't even sure if it was gold.
The reality was only just beginning to sink in, and I'd completely forgotten about the camera that was attached to my head that should have been recording this moment.
That looks bigger than my other one. It's another ½ ounce at least or more.
What else was down there? I hadn't completely uncovered all the gravel off this crevice, and I had to set back to work because our day was actually running short on time. Because we were only here for the night, we'd have to start our trek out back to the car fairly early. But before we go, I just had to see what else was hiding in there.
So deep. In the current, oh man. It's got me thinking I should probably check some of these other rocks carefully, because far out.
I could see another good sized nugget in there, but I was having troubles grabbing it because it was in a bit of a tricky spot.
Oh, so deep. Oh, can't grab it. Not as big, just a couple of grain, maybe 2 or 3. Oh, there's quite a bit in there.
What do we say, Will?
Pretty nice nugget.
Pretty nice nugget.
yeah.
You got to witness what could be Dad's biggest nugget. On a winter's day, wet, miserable. But yeah, we thought we'd get out here and have a bit of a go, and I'm a bit sad for Will because he hasn't had a lot of luck with the gold monster. The water's just a bit too high. Ordinarily there'd be a lot more bedrock for him to work with the detector, but yeah, we persevered there for a bit, and look at that chunk. It could be, I think it's going to be my biggest piece. Has to be. It's dirty. It'll come up, it'll clean up alright though. We'll put it in a bit of acid. It's the coolest shape. It's like a big claw or something. It's got some weight.
Do you reckon it comes out of the ironstone?
I don't know. Like the other stuff that I've cleaned up is quite soft with the acid. But, I mean, it does look like ironstone, but I just wonder whether it's from sitting on in a bench on the bank, and it's just gotten dirty from thousands of years. But wowzers. Winter sniping. Most of my bigger ones have come during the winter months. So we've only been here about an hour, and we've run out of time. It took us a while getting in here this morning, and we kind of farted around a bit, just having fun. This was just meant to be a father-son camp out, and got pretty heated pretty quick, but we've only spent an hour here, which is just incredible, and we've got a long way back out of here, back to the car, so we need to start making tracks, and I think the boys probably had enough of this wet weather, I reckon. So I cannot wait to get these cleaned up in some acid, and no doubt the big one. I just can't wait to see what comes of it. I think I'm going to lose a little bit of ironstone and stuff from it, but a little bit of weight, but it's certainly going to look 100 times better. And it deserves it. It's the most insane nugget I have ever found. Now, this piece here, I'm not going to just throw out. I think it's ironstone, but I'm not entirely sure just yet. It will get a bath in the acid as well, and I'm hoping we might get a little surprise. It might be just a really dirty piece. Right, so I'm going to put the nuggets. These are the ones I've chosen. I'm not going to do the whole lot of the gold. The smaller stuff I won't put in. I'll drop the nuggets in there first so the acid doesn't go everywhere. I've used hydrochloric acid before, but I haven't used this particular one, so hopefully it works out okay. Very carefully put a bit in there. You can already see it starting to come away just in a few seconds. Alright, so straight out of the acid, we haven't even given it a wipe or anything. And look at the big one. All solid gold, thank goodness. There's a little bit of a pocket in there, but the majority of it was gold. Unreal. But I'm going to give it a bit more of a clean, might even polish it. Make it real shiny. These bits here, I'm going to get a toothpick and run through and just give them a bit more of a clean up. And our mystery rock, unfortunately that was just ironstone or jasper or something like that. It's all falling apart still. I have rinsed off the acid, by the way, giving it a good hard clean.
I think it looks good.
Hey, yeah, that one's cool. It's got little cavities in it that are kind of a bit more crystal looking. You can see the natural colour of it. Nice. Yeah, that one won't need any more work. That's good, hun. Alright, so this one here has got a lot of little cavities in it. I am interested to see once we clean it up what that'll come up like. It turns out, this is that same piece that I just showed you a second ago. It turns out that I don't think this gold does have ironstone associated with it. I think what it is it's just old gravels or mud, dirt, that's been caught up for a lot of years and gone crusty and hard, and the acid, like, it just cleans away really easy. And you can see right up in there on that side there on the left, and right in the center there's actually little bits of quartz. Now that quartz could be stuck in there by chance from the river, or this gold could be associated and have its host rock with the quartz. I'm going to give this big piece a really good clean out, some of those little pockets in there, and it'll be interesting to see what that comes up like. You can see there's little bits of quartz or stone in there. I don't think I'll force them out. I might just leave those in there for a bit of character. What a piece though, eh? Amazing shape. Sure, look at that. Big chunk of mud coming out. Bit of a rinse. This is fun. Enjoy cleaning it up. I think I'll use the toothbrush for most of that in there. Just get the bulk of it out. Oh, yeah, look at that. Windy old night out there. Okay, and this is the gold cleaned up. And I'm not sure if you can tell, but one of these pieces Louise gave a polish, which is this one. It totally changes the colour when they're polished. It's hard to tell, it all looks the same under the camera light, but yeah, there's a bit of a difference. Not quite as yellow, it becomes sort of more silver looking. And then there's that one piece that's missing. Before the nugget had been soaked in acid, it weighed just over 21 grams, so I was absolutely stoked to see that it was still over the 20 gram mark.